And smile. How are you doing, Dave?
Not too bad. Chilling out, relaxing. Well,
I know,
compared to the last couple of live streams, I think it's been chilling, relaxing. I need to say first, congratulations on your first live stream last Saturday, was it?
It was.
Congratulations.
We did have a guest pop in, right enough.
You did the first half hour by yourself, the scary bit, you know.
Well,
amazing toy haul and toys pickups.
I think it took about an hour to go through all those pickups. I thought I'd just do something different. I came we done one on Thursday, but I said, what I says, instead of just doing a normal YouTube video on your haul, I says, when I should just do a live and see how it works. Because they gone joined, and then Action Pop Dad joined as well, so that was good. Enjoyed it. Something different.
So basically, you're replacing me by yourself then very soon, okay?
Well, you'll be going away in like 3 weeks' time, so I need to start thinking.
About 19, 20 days?
Something like that.
Yeah. Slowly getting in.
But so, how's your week been?
Up and down like a yo-yo.
I've had a good week. That's my sister-in-law finally gave birth on Monday, so now I have a baby niece.
Uncle Barry strikes again.
Oh yes. So I finally met her on Wednesday. Was it Thursday? I can't remember. I've lost track of days. But I'm no joking, man. She's absolutely tiny compared to the other two when they were born.
So basically, your mum's looking at you and says, come on, I've got a shit ton from that one. I want a load of from you now.
And the answer will be no. I'm not sharing my glorious...
What about if you meet that perfect Harley Quinn and that perfect... Well, PowerCon's on the weekend, so I need to mention in... I think it's Columbus, Ohio today. It's the PowerCon weekend, the official, you know... was it He-Man convention?
Mm-hmm.
Oh man, I've seen one of our friends just went live, and I was like, oh god. Some of the custom pieces are certain bits. He's like, oh my days, I should say.
I know, because I depending on how much this playset's going to be, the Eternal one, and I don't care if it's £100 or £500. I think I'm going to have to.
I'm estimating anything between I'm estimating about £5.
I really want that. Like, that's one thing I've always wanted as a kid, but never got around to doing it.
Enough, Baz. I am actually thinking of it, but not for Thundercats, for something else. Evening, Pete.
Hey, Pete.
Pete.
Hey, Rory.
Mr. R.
Hey, Mr. Simon.
The week we haven't seen Simon on TV because he's twice last week, so you know that's scary.
We need to get Si on this at some point.
You know, it could be worse. Simon and Shabby, the twins.
Oh, I tell you,
that would be a nightmare, wouldn't it?
We need to get the two of them on at some point.
Glorious. Well, shout out to Shabby anyway. I think Shabby's doing his 200 live stream video this Wednesday, is it? If I remember rightly. Go back. I think Shabby's doing a special live stream on Wednesday on his channel.
Oh, nice.
To do his 200 video. So, congratulations on 199 videos, Shabs.
I think I'm on like 152 or 153 videos now. It doesn't seem to be like that I've done so much, but
920 bars all in a row. Start missed today, but who's counting? So come on, Basilton.
I've noticed the subs are going up because I'm up to 280 now. So someday there must like my content.
Ooh. Is that your Shiro or your Evelyn person looking after you then?
Oh, I don't know. Could be.
Would be.
Could be.
So come on in, Baz. We've been on 5 minutes. Come on. You going to go first or me?
Well, do you want to do you want to show the pickups now, like?
Yeah.
You go first.
Go on in.
Make me big.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the Baz live stream.
Hey.
Hello, everyone in the chat. Any questions, please ask them down. Start off with the smallest, which is Scarlet Witch from Avengers. She's only mask size figure, I thought. Next size up, which is a my little girl, but I got the playset to go with her.
See, some of the Chatmay ones, like, is that early 2000s or is that the late 2000 ones?
This is one of the early ones, dude. I think there's no markings on it.
I know it's the early ones.
Yeah.
Like
the with like a big playset, and I wanted the playset with a bridge and all sorts. So.
No, it's the early ones. The paint apps on their face is actually better than what the
Baz Battlestar Collector, was it?
It is. I can't remember what his name was. Is it the?
Whoops! 1 sec. I better do that. It's before 9 o'clock. And then Shake the Werewolf Mummy, which I hardly see. The car boot. Scooby Doo.
I was going to say I've never seen that one.
It's just the Michael Jackson moonwalk.
I know they've done a lot of the monsters, but I've never seen the werewolf one.
Yeah. Oh, that's why I was spotting him. I'll pick him up. And then you've got Joker from Batman Beyond.
Oh, nice.
Since somebody likes jokes. A series called Invisimals, and that's one of the main guys from the series.
Oh, that's a cool one. I've got a Tiger Shark.
Yeah.
Is it Tiger? Ah, I'm sure it is. I'm sure his name is Tiger Shark. Because that's
feral. On to more Batman stuff. I've got a Batman from Imaginext.
Well, so it looked quite big for a Imaginext figure.
The biggest style, and this one's is it Spin Master? Nice Imaginext. It's got the eye on the front, man.
Oh, I know that one was Imaginext because they've done Man-Bat on a bigger scale.
Well, I can't find any markings on them, but I'm not. If you know, all the ladies are all Imaginext, so.
It does look like Imaginext. It just looks, unless they've done a bigger scale at some point.
Yeah, they've done few scales now. The articulation's a bit better, So there you go. Going on to these, sticking to that series. Baz's favourite Harley Quinn, which I found a jacket for her. Not going to fit me, but it's going to be useful for something in the future.
Oh, definitely. Are you going to cosplay as Harley in the next Comic-Con?
Maybe. Wales Comic Con's on to that this weekend as well, Baz. So, you got Black Panther, so mini one. You got Hulk from that Disney series.
Oh, that's nice. See, it's kind of weird because I've actually started seeing them showing up at charity shops.
The next stage up from it, Baz, because I've kicked in a bit more fantasies. It's the
the play
hero ones.
Play
heroes. Still sticking to Hasbro, but different line, which is I think it's Scooby.
Oh, that's a nice one.
His legs are, loosey goosey, like we say.
You might be able to, if you get some of the plumbing tape.
Yeah.
You might be able to wrap it round the joint to make the legs a bit. Because I had to do that with the Dominus Raptor that I picked up. The legs were a bit weird on it. And it kind of fixed it. Hey, G-Force. What's this?
There's a belt.
To go with.
Just in case you didn't miss it, everyone's talking about the jacket.
I see, Caesar. You got the legs to go with that jacket.
The way I'm feeling, yes. Then I picked up a bag full of cars.
Oh, nice.
But it's like those squishy ones, like the bath toy ones. So I've got quite a few different sets of these Baffy toys, but there you go. Then I picked up some Pirates of the Caribbean.
Is that the like Magic style ones,
Yeah,
Dave?
it's the Jaxie's toy line, and there's the figures. You got Hollow Sharks.
I don't know why they never actually done for that Pirate of the Caribbean. I don't know why they never actually done a proper like 3-inch, 4-inch filming figure series for that.
They changed companies, Baz. I don't think it's Jax. I know it's another company, but you know, there's a bits and pieces.
Oh, and it's nice find.
Yep. And then basically the top 2 finds or top 3 finds of the day was old Hasbro Air Raider carded figures.
Yeah, that's a nice find. You didn't find him as often, especially carded.
Yeah. You know, done by Hasbro Air Raiders, and
I think it was in 80. Was it 88 or something?
87 was.
87.
But you know, what was that man? Is it Mantiforce, Baz? They look similar to.
I was going to say because I mean those look slightly bigger than the Mantiforce ones.
Yeah. I know. I'll do a comparison soon, but there's that. And then basically, the last thing I bought.
A Mantiforce figure actually handy, so
Probably not, but there you go. And then basically, the childhood little toy that I couldn't pass up was an old black Ninja that was complete solid and you can't move, but it's childhood memories.
oh, definitely, man. It's one of those. I mind having a few of those back in the day.
Yeah.
It was either the early 90s or the early 2000s. Chatmate did a kind of similar line.
Yeah.
But they were like 3.5 inch from
yeah. And then basically the only other thing I picked up, which is completely weird, this is a viewfinder, like a little thing for you as a phone to make your screen bigger.
Hi, Cat.
So there you go. So there you go, Mr. Basilton.
You make sure I press the right button and no kick you for the stream, like what I normally do.
That's it. I'm done now. So, Baz, thanks for the live stream. You've got anyone else doesn't join in, enjoy the live stream with Baz. So.
Right. I'll show off the bits that I got for the charity shop the day. And these were, I did show off one of them in Twitter and in the group of that, but I went and found this today, Dave. It still does work. But I've never seen this one in shops over here yet.
I've seen them at toy fairs, but not in shops, I don't think.
So I thought that was a good find for 20 pence. It's a new charity shop it's opened up, so they didn't really have a lot of stuff in, kind of thing. It was mostly
there's only that one thing in. Then.
They did have, I did manage to pick a few bits up, but it's the way they've got their toy set out is that they've got like a pound section, a 50 pence section, a 20 pence section, and then majority of the other stuff that I'm going to show off, these were like in the 10 pence section.
Huh.
But it's like when I seen that on the shelf, I was like, damn, that's coming home with me.
That's just crazy, and it's
but the weird thing about it is like when I went to the till, especially with this is like, Ken, what? I used to have this as a kid. So she knew exactly what it was. But it's like, I'm quite surprised that charity shop never like put a couple of quid on this. But when I'm kind of
you're moving Baz, you moving your He-Man display because it looks a bit naked.
I was doing my monthly clean, so I've just now put the stuff back up. Yeah, I've just kind of immediately sorting stuff out. So
Perfect. But I'd ask the question before you carry on. Sorry, carry on, sir.
well, it's kind of says that usually you find them in charity shops, man, you're probably talking about what, £5-6, Dave?
Well, technically, Baz, our one that I go to are just overpricing the stuff at the moment. But I'll discuss charity shops in a bit with you because this one now near me is just now getting. I'm almost now tempted to refuse to go in there to pay their prices. It's almost getting beyond Toy Fair prices. But there you go.
And then it's like she was saying, it goes, we're no concerned about how much it is online. She says, we're just here just to raise money for charity. So she says, whatever goes on the shelf is, we have a section of where it's meant to go, kind of thing. So, but then also found another Dark Knight Robin.
That's nice. I like his glasses.
And that was the same price as a He-Man figure. And then I found a load of this guy's for Destiny. I can't remember what his name is.
Yeah. Looks like Mr. Freeze.
Then I found some like
Clayface. Okay, yeah.
Well, this is for another computer game. I can't remember. It's one of the Blizzard games.
Yeah, nice one.
But the bonus was finding some Gears of War.
I know they took like a pounding, like pound home bargains, were they, or something? A quid in home bargains.
Many. Man, I have got a few of these already, but I couldn't kind of leave these behind.
No.
Especially like the Locust, because these are actually well kind of sculpted, man.
Yeah. He's quite a cool one. I like his mask.
So I know that one there, man. I know that's like a chase figure.
Yeah.
I remember a lot of folk try to find that one. And Dom. And then one of the Carmine again.
Same figure, but he's different. Yeah, variant.
Just the same figure, but there was a chase figure for Carmine. But they were like 10 pence each. I was like, oh, I'll just buy them. Then on Friday, I went to game and I've picked up some Lightning Collection figures.
You need the cog now to go to get his weapons.
But the weird thing about it though, Dave, is that I was in game last week when I went to that toy fair.
Yeah.
And these were 20 quid last week. So these have went down in price in the last about 3 or 4 days. Just when I seen them on the shelf yesterday, it's like, definitely pick these up.
I know I went into TK Maxx, Baz, and those figures were $14.99 in TK Maxx.
That's the thing, is that I keep checking with TK Maxx every week when I can. And I've still never seen the Lightning Collection stuff coming in. But I know my local one, it's kind of a small one, so it's kind of a hit or miss. And then last night I went to Asda's. And Asda's have got these meant to be £3.50 for these. But when I went to the till, it was down to £1.25.
Jesus.
So I went to my big Asda's the day to see if they had them reduced, but they were still at the original price. At
$2.99, you'd pick them up, wouldn't you? I think they're $7.99, aren't they?
They're my local Asda's are selling them for £7. These ones are £7. The other DC one that they've done for like the Justice League ones, they're £8.
Yeah.
So I picked one up and I went, thinking, what? I says, it's weird because they still had £7 on the shelf. I said, maybe they've never got around to doing a price change yet. So I went out to the till and I just kind of said, any chance you could tell me how much these are? And they're still selling them for £7, but my one was selling them for, on the shelf, they says it was £3.50, but when I went to the till, the last only charged me £1.25 for it.
Jesus.
I would have got more, but it was only Catwoman and Batman that I had left.
Yeah.
In my local, like the one that's basically just in the road fairs. And went to B&M's today, and this is one line I'm definitely going to be picking up just to get King Shark. This is Unmasked Bloodsport. I would prefer if it was the masked version.
Yeah.
But I'm not too fussy. I just want it just to build King Shark.
Is that a heavy box bass by any chance?
It's not too bad. But it must be because they've got a lot of the Blight figure in, Boulder figure.
Yes.
So I don't know if they're just getting like a box with random Boulder pieces. But the last couple of B&Ms that I've went to have had like just one figure. The one you know what one I'm after. I'm after the Harley Quinn, but I was like, the day I was like, Ken, what, bugger it. I'm just going to pick them up when I can see them in B&Ms. I just build the King Shark.
No, not good.
So I've noticed the single release one has went up in price for some weird reason. And then I picked up Stranger Things Squeezable Dart.
Yes, is that £3 from that shop?
It's B&M's are selling these for £3. So I picked one up.
I might need to go into B&M because I know this other place had them for £3. They're all sold out. I'm tempted to get in Strange Things back, but I only collect all the aliens and the creatures.
Well, I'm off tomorrow again, so I'm not back until Monday. My holiday's didn't finish until tomorrow night, but I'm going back to B&M's in the morning, so if I see any more, I'll pick you one up, Dave.
Thanks, dude.
And I don't know if John will be in the chat, Super Awesome Geek, but I managed to find Series 6, the new Halo figures.
That is nice.
See, I've got the 6-inch version of this guy, but you got some, I don't know how many actually series I've actually done with that, but I seen him and I said, oh, I'll pick him up. And then the last item I got, went back to game and picked this up. They've got these down to $4.99 now.
Jeez.
So I'm going to go back. I'm going to another one in the morning to see if they've got the rest of them doing it $4.99. See if I can get another Commander Blay just for loose purposes.
Or customs.
Or for
is that Harlequin Part 2, is it, that one?
Well, I am working on another one, but it was Rory gave me the idea, is that I want him to have our own kind of squadron, different versions, and we're kind of talking about it over the last couple of nights. And he says, why not try and do a Poison Ivy version? Because her and Poison Ivy are besties now, and if you watch the Harley Quinn series, more like lovers in that than besties. As you say, friends with benefits.
That's an amazing pickup, Baz. Well done.
Hey, Blackout Ewok.
Evening, sir. Mr. Ewok.
I saw a few Black Series figures at Targets that are not Lando. Must
One of these days, you'll all miss the Lando Christmas in the shops.
The first edition ones, harder to find. I see a bunch of them, man. It's like the GeForce, man. I pick these up when I see them cheap. I don't know if they're actually worth the £7 that they're actually.
You do get exclusive little parts, Baz, but that's the price of the figures. for example, I went into Smith's yesterday, and you know the new Power Ranger figures?
Yes,
They're now going up to $14.99 in Smith's.
See, I don't think they're worth $14.99 because if you think about it, a couple of years ago, man, you were picking them up for $9.99.
$9.99. It's always been $9.99 for the last 5-10 years. But you remember that series I showed you once, that Monsterverse Marvel series? The single figures are now down to £7 from 11. The deluxe Iron Man and Captain America is now down to £15. And I was so tempted to get the Thanos at 25.
See, I seen them yesterday in Toy Town, and Toy Town are wanting $16.99 for them. I would have picked the Doctor Doom up and the Black Panther one up if they weren't so.
£7 in Smith's. Yes, they're reduced.
If they were like a tenner or something or below that, yeah, I would pick them up. But for something that's not kind of designed for an adult collector, I don't think they're mainly designed for kids. But for 14, nearly £17 for a figure for a kid, it's a bit ridiculous.
But I was tempted to get Baz the Thanos and the what do we call it one? I'll avoid the Captain America one.
The Captain America one's still and so is the Form, and you wouldn't think that was a 4.
The problem is we haven't had all the series yet, because I know in America they've had the Loki, which is a slightly bigger figure. He's got all big horns. He's amazing, but
yeah, that's what I didn't get right. Is it toy? Because this is where I got that Halo figure. So they're wanting the Marvel figures for say £17 for a basic action figure. Then you've got like the Halo figure that are for collectors kind of thing.
For only a tenner.
For only a tenner. So I
know. You think it should be the other way round? £17 for that one and £10 for the others?
If they were £17, I'll probably win but if it was a 6-inch, 17,
yeah.
I'd pay for it. But if that was £17 for that scale, then no. I'd rather wait till they got reduced.
Yeah.
Hey, Dino.
Mr. Geek Strong?
But I've kind of noticed that recently in certain places. And I've noticed B&M's used to be kind of a bargain place to get stuff, but I've kind of noticed some of their prices are slightly going up on certain items.
Just for the G-Forces in the thing, G-Force and Geek Strong in the chat, there you're looking at your Oilers or any other places over there. You could it's like a proper toy shop, but it's a reduced place that does everything. Is it, Baz? I know there's Oilers where they are. There's a few other shops like it around there.
I think Ollie's is more like more like Home Bargains for us. I don't know what B&M's would be for them. No,
it's about the same, Baz. It's do a bit of. I think they're B&M's for us, Baz. I think it's almost like a Walmart, Walgreens. They do a bit of everything in the place, but the toys are a bit cheaper, like Oilers.
Oh, don't get me wrong, man. Like the DC Multiverse figures, they're selling them for $12.99.
Yeah.
And they usually online they go for between $19.99 between 20 to £25 a figure online.
All up to £40, isn't it?
Yeah. Depending on the character as well, sometimes they put the price up.
Yeah.
There's like certain characters, as we kind of noticed, because if they've still got the Batwoman or the Batwoman or Batgirl, that's kind of looks like the Batman Beyond style armored version.
Yeah.
It comes with the Blight Balder figure. I'm actually quite tempted to buy that one as well because that one looks quite cool. But I want I just went Harley Quinn for that line, but I've been watching a lot of the reviews on the King Shark, and that is a beefy character. And now I need to try and find the other three, just so I can build the King Shark.
The problem is, when you build the figure, you probably get the figure by itself by the same company again, won't you? You know.
I hit 4 stars today. Is at Ollie's. I got the deluxe black. Oh, nice, GeForce, nice. Because when I went into the game yesterday, Dave, when I seen those reduced to like 7.99, my first thing is that I kind of sprinted to the cabinet to see if the Lord Zed helmet had been reduced, but it's still 116 quid. But it's the thing with game now, and I was kind of talking when I was in the day talking to the guy, because it was kind of weird. Is that they were on the peg for $8.99, that Star Wars figure, and I just kind of gone through them, and I noticed one was for say $4.99. Why is that one $4.99, but the rest are saying $8.99? So I kind of went up to the till and kind of asked them to just double check, because a couple of weeks ago when I got the Rogue figure, I really wanted Ironheart.
Yeah.
So that was reduced to $9.99, but the time I went to game, it had been put back up to $21.99. So I was just wondering if they've done the same as it. Sometimes with game, they'll have they'll put a price on it for a week, and then after the week it goes back up if nobody buys them, kind of thing, and then they'll try it again in a few weeks time. They'll just keep. That's what I was talking to the guy.
Like manager special on it or something.
I was talking to the guy today. He's like, no, he says, I've noticed. He says some of the prices are going up and down. He says, they'll put them on sale for like 2 weeks, and then all of a sudden they'll put them back up to the original price. He says, I don't understand why they're doing that, because it's confusing for us, because we'll price everything up, and we didn't really get told that the prices are going down until like the last minute, and it's not until like a customer comes up and says, buys that, and says, I'm sorry, but this is no $9.99 anymore. It's $21.99. But you think if it's got a sticker on it,
the sticker price, wouldn't you?
You think, but nah, they wouldn't do that. Hey, Ronaldo.
Mr. R.
But no, what game is getting a lot of good Marvel stuff in the new light, so I just keep checking it every so often just to see, because some of the newer waves are getting reduced.
I know I've only got a small ad games like basically in a Sports Direct shop, so it's only a tinky winky one. They get a few bits in, and then the other one is the City Centre.
It's the same with my sports division, because I was in there 2 weeks ago, and they actually had the what do you call them again? The Lightning Collection Cycle Rangers in for 35 quid, and it's the first time I've actually seen toys in there. But I know usually about Christmas time they usually get toys in. Because last year I kind of missed out on the vintage. Was it the classic? Came when they done the 6-inch, they done it in like the vintage style.
Yes.
Packaging. Well, they had the Boba Fett. I know it's just a repaint of the original one, but I was trying to pick that up, and I think I went to about 4 or 5 different ones, and every time I asked about it, it's like they sold out as soon as they basically come in, because they were selling them for $5.99.
That's just crazy.
But I have noticed that if you go in there about like the end of October, beginning of November, they usually do get like the odd action figure in, or the odd Nerf gun or something.
Is it October? No, is it October? The end of it's almost like the end of Halloween, and Halloween hits, Them 2 months, and then it's virtually just Christmas, isn't it? Mm.
Hey, Ian.
Mr. I.
Hey,
Mr.
lad.
L.
Well, I know with B&M's, as soon as the 31st of October comes, that's when it's like the week
The double.
sell off all their Halloween stuff.
Yeah.
And that's when they start getting like their Christmas toys and collectible stuff in. Because you usually know with B&M's at Christmas time.
Yeah.
That's when you usually find the good stuff. I know the last couple of years has been kind of rubbish due to the pandemic and that, but I'm hoping this year.
I think we're back to normal. Basically, the prices now coming up, and prices stuff and bits. You know, it's going to be
some good stuff in.
Yeah, I think it's going to be quite a dangerous issue with all everything going up, everything coming out crazy. It's going to be interesting to see what's what. I think.
Hey, Gilster.
Mr. Gill.
Well, man, I've only got 4 months, and then that's me hit my 10 years anniversary thing for my work.
The big bonus.
Sorry?
Is it the bonus you're talking about?
Yeah, the 10-year bonus thing. So there's going to be.
I think you've already spent 3 times over.
Well, I've not got it yet, but it's like what I want to get is it's going to be spent before I even. As soon as
I know your top 3 list is Castle Grayskull Lego, isn't it?
I want to.
Castle Grayskull.
Grayskull, yeah.
The problem is, if you get that one, why are you tempted then to get the Snake Mountain one?
I would be, depending on how much the Snake Mountain one's going to be. But I think if you
buy Mountain's about $300.
I think if you're going to buy the Castle Grayskull, then you're going to have to get Snake Mountain. You can't have Castle Grayskull at Snake Mountain.
So you're looking about £400 to £500 for the both then, Bass.
That's what I'm kind of hoping that He-Man Origins do a Castle Grayskull. If they're doing the playset, then they're going to have to do a Snake Mountain just so you can have the 3 of them displayed together.
Yeah.
But then again, it's like Snake Mountain, I don't know how big the Snake Mountain's going to be and what that's going to be.
You'd almost say the same mold as before, what they did, but just different paint jobs and a few more detailed stickers and a few bits too.
Castle Grayskull was £100. I know some places now, you can pick up for £40. Or $40, I should say. But I'm kind of glad I got mine when I did, because I know it's certain shops now, they're wanting like £120 for it.
The cheapest I was spotted at Castle Grayskull behind you was £55. And there was a toy fair from one of the guys in the toy fair now. You know.
It was awesome. Yeah, I watched that yesterday, man. I don't know if you've seen the new Predator. I actually thought it was a series at first, but it's a full-length movie. But there's a few Easter eggs in that for like previous Predator movies. Man, I would get a watch.
No, did I watch yesterday? Well, it was the Rise of the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles movie based on Netflix.
I noticed that coming. I need to kind of get that a wee watch to see if it's any good.
I quite liked it, but at least it's got 2 other characters we haven't seen before.
I know with animation, I know a lot of folk weren't happy with the animation, the way they kind of did it and the way they done the turtles. They weren't technically all the same turtle. They're all like the 4 of them are all different turtles, kind of thing.
But it's like saying in different dimension a bit. You can see this one is a bit more. I quite like it. It's something different, you know. But yeah, I think this week's been quite a good week for movie releases. Your film Buzz Lightyear was out on Wednesday as well on Disney Plus. So movie week for Disney Plus has been a really good week for Disney Plus.
I did watch that as well. That was pretty good for what it was. different, something different. But I enjoyed it.
Yeah.
I don't think a lot of folk will probably be into that, but it's like an up-to-date version of like the Darklycan series that they did back in the 2000s. But I thought it was all right. I enjoyed it.
Might get around to watching it next week. Hopefully, with all the other stuff I need to catch up and do with. You know.
Who is that? Everyone's together now. Gravity is in. But no, it's. Oh. But I have noticed when I was in Toy Town today and Entertainer, I've noticed they've changed the new packaging is now starting to come in.
Yeah.
So I've noticed that with some of the new Marvel figures. It's the first time Entertainers actually had Marvel selects Marvel figures in for about a year. But now they're coming in like plain boxes. So, and I've noticed that with some of the Star Wars figures as well.
Yeah.
They did have the Boba Fett, but I was so tempted to buy that today.
I know the Love and Thunder from Thor, their figures are now in boxes like that. And I haven't seen the figures yet over here, but they look. You almost like. Remember that series earlier? They don't look like them figures. You know.
Who's your favourite pair?
Uncle Barry.
That'll be my younger nephew. The point is, what's his favourite superhero? Because it keeps changing weekly. 1 minute Spider-Man, then it's from this.
You know, his uncle's his favourite. He doesn't care.
I actually don't know who my favourite superhero would be. I kind of like them all.
Harley Quinn?
She's technically not a hero, though. She's an anti-hero.
She's a middle.
Villains, I would say.
Harley.
Superheroes. That's a toughie.
I would have said Batman because you've probably got more Batman toys. I've been quite liking Black Panther, or for me, it's probably Spider-Man because I've probably got more Spider-Mans. But
I would probably
like Captain America.
Spider-Man because I do have more Spider-Man.
Yeah, there's a big shelf. There's a big little shelf behind you full of your Spideys behind you.
That's just different variations of Venom and Spider-Man that I've got.
No, you see any buzz?
See, the Entertainers, and I kind of agree with Blackout Ewok, is that the Entertainer 2, maybe 4 years ago, they used to be good for toys. Because when they'd done all the Black Series stuff, they'd done all the new stuff that was coming out, it was always well stocked. Nowadays, in the last few years, I've not seen any Black Series stuff in there. They've still got the Forced Unleashed figures still on the peg. That's how bad it is. Nobody's buying them anymore.
Yeah, Entertainers just
go in there and you'll find something, but it's like a needle in a haystack sometimes with Entertainer. It's like luck.
Yeah.
But I know we do have a big, massive one in Livingston, and that is usually well and truly packed with stuff because that's got the He-Man stuff in it. My local one doesn't even have the He-Man stuff in yet.
Ours has still got some He-Man stuff in back. But to be perfectly honest, Baz, my one was probably the one of the flagships in Birmingham because it was like anything that didn't ship went to there. It was crazy. So, but then I had a refurb during pandemic, and he went Entertainer / something else. It's crazy. Even if Mr. Figures.
Because what was it I seen the day in B&M's? It was the.
So come on in, Baz. Name a couple of toy lines that you'd love to see in B&M's or Home Bargains that you think you'd never see in a million years.
I would love to go into Home Bargains, and they would either be selling like the Necker stuff, like either turtles or aliens or predators. I would love to see like the classic line He-Man figures getting sold in there. I think that would be kind of like.
Well, you had Origins in there, so that half counts.
I love to see like some of the higher end toys getting sold in B&M's or Home Bargains. I mean, if you walked in there and they're selling like Storm collectibles, it's like, damn. I don't care if they were selling them for 30 quid or not. You're going to like say, I'll buy that because online they're like 100 more quid.
Yeah.
Man, you hope at some point, because like with B&M's and that, man, they technically get in the end of the line stuff, so stuff that are not selling, they're getting it for a cheaper price, so they're selling it for a cheaper price. But I always, hopefully, one of these days, especially with Home Bargains, hopefully walk in there and they're selling like the Castle Grayskull kind of thing. I know there's a few folk I know that are wanting a Castle Grayskull, and they're kind of in the same boat as me, is that they're hoping to find that for like 20 quid.
Yeah.
I don't think Home Bargains would sell it for 20 quid. I think they'd probably maybe sell it for about 30 or 40 pounds, but if they did, it's a definitely
I can actually see, Baz, that happening, because I know they had the Origin figures in. Because I know I checked my Home Bargains and they never had the Justice League. They only had the Justice League figures in, but not the big Batwing playset. This big bat plane. And I thought, I wanted another Home Bargains, a bigger one. It was there. You know?
I agree with that. You need to bring back Dino Raiders.
Yeah. You understand? I think the only things I'd like to see, Baz, anything but Hasbro or Spin Masters.
It's
all I've seen at the moment in mine is Hasbro's or Spin Master toys. You see a tiny bit of Funko Pop, but I don't want Funko Pop to go in there, but I want the other side of Funko to go in. Like the reaction figures.
I agree with the reaction figures. They have done reaction figures in the past because they've done like the Stranger Things.
Yeah.
For B&M's, for me, I would love them to get some Marvel Legends in as well.
Yeah.
It's like my local B&M's owned about 10 years ago. They've always only ever sell DC figures, like DC Direct or DC Icons or the multiverse.
Yeah.
When it comes to Marvel, it's basically either the Titan figures they're doing or like the small.
They ones.
They do they ones. They've got like the Titan figures that you like.
Yeah.
They do like the 6-inch like Titan figures. Like a smaller scale. They do them, and then they've got like a 7-inch version. It's like similar to that Thanos, but it's more. It's kind of similar to that, but it's
for the smaller ones.
And they've done the dairy ones as well. They've got the black. They've got the new Disney.
It's about the same size now, Baz.
Yeah, they've got like the Disney one, the new Disney toy line that come out, the new Disney cartoon. But I've never seen like Marvel Legends. But they do a lot of the DC stuff, so I don't know if B&M's has maybe got a deal for.
I can't say much about B&M's because I know my B&M's did have some Jurassic Park stuff in.
All Meisters as well. They've got all the new domination stuff in.
You know, some of the stuff you can get, it's crazy out there, and it's Mr. Werewolf.
See, that's kind of got a point. Is that I would love to see an updated version of the Cowboys of Moon. I would love to see an updated version of them.
Yeah. Is that the look, Shah, is that the Cowboys that dresses up as cows that dress up as cowboys series?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Baz, that's one of the things I'm actually looking for on my holiday in Texas.
I've seen a lot of folk picking like the odd one of those figures up.
Moo cows.
Yeah. But I think if you were really going to talk about a toy line that should have really have happened, and it should have done dino saucers. There was prototypes made, but the prototypes never made it to the actual finishing table. But I know the prototypes do go. Somebody was selling one for like $30,000. But I think if they were to do that, I think they would maybe go down the route with like how the Extreme Dinosaurs and Street Sharks were. If they were to do an up-to-date version of them, but it would be nice to see. It would be nice to see them.
Yeah.
I know there was a lot of cartoons back in the day that they never really had a toy line, but they should have had a toy line.
How do you spell that dinosaurs again, Baz? D-I-N.
Dinosaurs.
It's like
I'm not too sure.
It's quite a weird spelling. That's, you know.
If Shabby walking, you mean half a mile. Chief, what are you going to walk 24 miles looking for a collectible figure of Shabby? If I had a choice to not have a car, but I needed to go to a shop, I'd fucking walk.
Yeah.
There's a lot of the older toy lines that really need a reboot kind of thing, but it's what they would do with them. That's the thing. Because like somebody mentioned about like Tailspin for HasLab. I think if they were to do the Tailspin series, an up-to-date version, I'd probably back that.
I think Super 7 will do them soon because I've done
because I've got the original Baloo from Tailspin, and then I've got the Funko when Funko done the 4.5 inch figures. I've got the Baloo for that, and I've also got a sealed version of that I picked up for like £3 at TK Maxx last year. Just try to find and thinking of like other toy lines that they could actually bring back.
I think I might have some dinosaurs as Baz. I'm just trying to find out if I've got the right.
They've done a lot of knockoffs.
Yeah.
They've done a lot of knockoffs, kind of based off of some of the characters, but there wasn't technically official.
Yeah, figures. Yeah.
Least.
Yeah, I think I've got the two knockoffs. So I think we talked about some once on the live stream, and I went to Italy and found a couple there.
There's a lot of knockoffs, but even the knockoffs look good for what they are.
Yeah.
As we know, is that back in the day, man, if you couldn't afford the original one, we didn't know as kids the difference kind of thing. We were just quite happy that we had a random character.
Is that the series?
Yes.
Yeah.
I'll love them to do a proper toy line for that.
Yes, I've actually got 2 of the knockoff figures, Baz.
Some cheap Mego Star Wars figures last year. As B&M's had them as well, Ewok as well, because I picked up a couple of Gorns. But it's kind of, what was I going to say? I've actually kind of noticed, and I don't know, you've maybe kind of seen the same thingy, but I think we've talked about this before, but you could go to one B&M's, right, or one Home Bargains, or one Entertainer, and they've got good stuff in, but there might be like, just say for example, I want to build that King Shark.
Yeah.
Say I went to one B&M's and they only had 2 figures. So it's like you're picking up and it's like, Ken, what, I'll go to the next B&M's and see if they've got them. They didn't have them.
Yeah.
You go to another one, they only have 1 figure in. And then, but I didn't understand is that if it's the same company, why are they not, it doesn't matter how big the store is. You'd think if they're sending stuff out, every store should get the same stuff.
I know Smith's talking about that. I know it's all about the size, how big you are, or how good you are at all the places.
Mm-hmm.
But it's after 9 o'clock. I know Home Smith's. The bigger the store they are, the bigger the stuff they get in. The more stuff they get in, Baz.
Just to kind of, I'm sure Home Bargains did have some of the, but I know B&M's had a load of the Mego Star Trek, but I'm sure B&M's Home Bargains did as well. Because I think there was a conversation.
I think it's still in my Home Bargains at the moment.
Well, there's an example, Dave. When I picked up those power players, you've been looking for them.
Yeah, we've never got them down here.
I went into one, and it's like I only wanted the Sarge guy because it kind of reminded me of Small Soldiers.
Yeah.
But then I ended up kind of just picking up the main character, Axel. I went to like another 3 Home Bargains that day, thinking it's like, well, if they've got them in, surely the other stores will got them in. No, the other 3 never had them in, and about 2 months later, they got them back in again, but all the ones that they got in were all Axels. They had none of the other characters.
Solid cases then, Baz.
Aye, and that's what I'm kind of thinking with Home Bargains at the minute with that Suicide Squad Balder figure, is that there's more of the Blight Balder figures in. So you can basically go in there and spend 52 quid and buy the whole fucking wave for Blight. I did notice they did have one of the Bane Balder figures in as well.
Yeah.
So, but it was kind of weird. But it was only Scarecrow. But I would have picked the Scarecrow up. But I kind of thinking, but if they're going to get more in, like over the next few months, every week I might just go back and forward to them, and if it takes me if it takes me another month to find the rest of the figures, then fair enough. But I mean, if they have like Bane, I'll definitely pick up the Bane ones. I never
I'm holding off because when I go on my holiday, I might try and find a Bane and Scarecrows like combo if it might be in the shop at the right price without buying the rest of it. But I do like the Scarecrow.
I would love them to do a reissue. Count Dracula. I don't. Count Dracula toy line. I would probably agree with Ian. I wouldn't mind seeing that.
You go back to Ian. Biker Mice from Mars was done by a company called RIC, which is slightly bigger, in 1993. They did a second toy line, the RIC.
Do you think the quality of figures has gone down over the years? Those Thomas toys I mentioned above were damn near indestructible, but recent toys just fall apart. But for Nice, yeah. Some of the kiddie, man, when it comes to collectible stuff, I think they try to make them last. But I know a lot of folk have had issues with NECA.
Yeah.
Moving a wrist and it snaps off or blah, blah, blah. I've even noticed that with some of the wrestling figures recently. I noticed that a few years ago because I picked up a few wrestlers for my nephew out at B&M's, and he basically just had it out the packaging, and he went to move the arm and the hand had fell off.
Yeah.
I know you're going to get the odd Q&A from an issues kind of thing, but if you're spending, like for NECA, I mean, what's NECA, between 30 to 40 quid a figure?
At least, yeah. No.
If you're spending that on a figure, you expect that not to fall to bits easily.
They have got better bands though.
And move an arm and the arm pops, breaks completely off.
Perfect bands. The NECA, one of the worst ever toy lines either NECA or somebody did was the Pacific Rim action figure, the robots. They did like an O-bite thing, and basically the paint never dried before you went in packaging, and every time you moved it, it broke.
See, I've noticed that with some of the Force Unleashed figures when I was picking them up.
Yeah.
I kind of waited until they went on to sale, but I had a couple that it must have been the way they were painted, is that the paint's actually going to the joint.
Yeah.
And the only way to kind of get it back to a normal thing was to actually put it into boiling water. But then you had to be very careful because of the paint, it actually went right into the joint. So every time you were kind of twisting it, you knew it was going to snap. Yeah. So things like that. But I know there's been a lot of issues with like the Lightning collection as well.
Yeah. Well, but honestly, Baz, I'd like all the extra bits and pieces, the extra pieces, but these day and age, it's like some of the things he's crazy. So he's crazy. So. Hey, Nick.
Hello, mate. How you doing? Just a quick. I'm going to be honest. Just a quick pop in this evening because
he's had to do that big announcement again.
I can do it again if you want me to. I'm just clipping there we go. I'm just clipping myself on my stand. There we go. I'm using my mobile phone tonight because my Chromebook's been playing up. It's got update issues and what have you. Yeah. So, but if you want me
to, Nick, anything toy wise and brand new, anything dude, except for the big announcement. Part 2.
I managed to get. They haven't come through yet, but what I have managed to get is I've managed to get some more bits towards completing my Jabba the Hutt playset.
Nice.
So I've managed to get Salacious Crumb. I got him for about a tenner. It's still in the baggie, so I'm quite looking forward to that.
Mr. Lizard.
Yeah, the little monkey lizard, like Salacious, like our mate Salacious Rum.
Yeah.
And I managed to get the gargoyle heads for it with the little flaps, so you can. Hello, Manga Fandango. Hello, Si, mate. How are you? And I believe I got someone who's found me the table. So actually, if he has got that, if the person in question has got that, I will have completed the Jabba the Hutt playset, and I will have done it for under £50, which is a miracle in this day and age.
Whoa.
Oh, nice. Well, I know you're trying to get the Star Wars stuff for a budget.
Takes a bit of wheeling and dealing and a little bit of creativity and trading, but if you're prepared to take, I mean, the Jabba stuff is nice. I mean, say it cost me under 50 quid. I've got to be honest. What I've done is I've had a look at the job lot I've got, and I've broke down what I paid for it and what I would consider each item to have costed in it. So it's a speculative figure, but I would say it would have been around 50 quid. It's cost me all in all, which I think's ideal, really. And yeah, I've managed to do that. But I mean, I do tend to buy beta figures and tart them up. That's my thing. Because as long as they look all right, who gives a monkeys? At the end of the day, mate, as I said last week, I'd rather spend my money on beer than on expensive stuff.
Yes. I need to say, has your son got anything new toys in before you carry on?
Well, we've been in Devon this week on holiday, so the only real pickups. I'll show you a couple of things he's got actually. That bear with me. I'm just going to nip off cam and I'll just grab them.
That's no worries.
Okay. Hello, Mr. Cat in the background. He'll be there in a second. Whoa.
All right. Sorry, Bob. I'm literally just nipped on the stream quick. I'll be on in a sec. That's all good.
Hey, hello, famous lady in the background.
Famous lady. Yeah. No, I'm punching well above my weight. I have got a nice wife. how I've done it, I don't know. But no, my boy. Babe, are these Airfix kits? Airfix quick build kits.
Whoa.
Oh, I've seen the race car ones.
Yeah, how much did you pay for these at Lidl? $9.99 a pop.
No,
I mean,
nice.
you just can't go wrong. And to be honest with you, I think
They all painted like that, Nick.
yeah, so they're already painted, so that they're almost like a Lego construction, very similar to Lego, even to the fact that they look like Lego bits. But
yeah,
you pop the stickers on them and you clip them together, and they come with it. Shit, sugar! I just dropped the stand. And basically, yeah, I mean, for a child of 8 years old, they're a nice introduction to model building. But all in all, they're actually very aesthetically pleasing to look at. To be fair.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's probably that's his new sort of pickups. I mean, he's got that, and he has got a red arrow, which is over there, but I can't reach it without knocking down umpteen things. So
yeah, that's one that I remember, the big chunky metal ones.
No, I've seen the quick ones in Home Bargains. I think Home Bargains are doing the race car versions of them.
Yeah, to be honest with you, they're really nice. Because I mean, if we look at the Spitfire and we consider how, I mean, can't really see the detail on here. Sorry, because this is my phone. The camera's in a different place to what I'm used to.
When you get used to it, Nick, trust me, it's very easy. When you start it, it's like it's.
Yeah, see, my basically all it is my Chromebook is just doing a massive update at the moment, and it's just I turned it off last night when frustration, when what I should have done was let it carry on. So, but yeah, they're great, really. I mean, and the Messerschmitt, if that's how you pronounce it correctly, my boy would be telling me off now, telling me how to say it. It's yeah, that's cracking. I mean, how could you not like those on the shelf? A little bit of history. And the thing is, my boy is well into history. Oh, see, I've just took the wing apart. But yeah, it's like a Lego construction, as I say.
At least it's not like the old one. You broke it, didn't you? With the glue.
If I'm honest with you, with this one here, we are considering just using a little bit of Loctite in the odd place just to hold bits on.
Yeah.
Because he doesn't want to take them apart. But obviously, I've just handled it very lightly then, and part of the wings popped off. Now, when you've got an 8-year-old who wants to pick them up and fly them around, a little bit of Loctite in that instance would be your friend, I think, to be fair. So that is the pickups, if that counts as pickups.
That's perfect.
And as for the announcement, I love that. Shabby was saying Nick's got a big announcement. It wasn't a big announcement, but I'm happy.
Is that you remember last week you were talking about should I pick up Black Series?
Mm-hmm.
It's like it depends on what you want to kind of pick up. But if you really want to get in for like kind of cheap, I don't know if you have a game store in your local area.
Yeah, we've got an actual game which is about 20 miles from here.
But I picked this up today for say $4.99. So they've got some of the Black Series stuff in quite cheap. But it depends on what kind of characters you're into, kind of thing. So if you have one,
the thing is, as much as I would focus my collection, if I start getting Black Series, if I see a figure for $4.99, I'm going to pick it up. Let's be fair.
You know how you were saying is that you love my Power Ranger stuff. Is it they've also got like the Lightning Collection stuff's in as well for $7.99.
$7.90, mate. That is a bargain. That is a bargain.
So just in case if you're like, Ken, what? I fancy getting just one just for the collection kind of thing. Get in there as soon as you can.
Absolutely.
They've got some of the retro stuff in as well for like $5.99 as well.
Retro. Oh wow, really? That's incredible.
They've got some of the Mandalorian. I don't know if you have any of the Mandalorian ones, but they've got the Mandalorian and for $5.99, and they've got the new Mandalorian ones, and they've got them for $11.99.
Oh wow, that is good. I think my my next. I've only got the 2 retro figures I showed you last week or whenever it was I was on last, but my next thing is I'm considering buying the first 6. I've had a chat with Shabby. I can order them from. I can't get them over here now, but Shab said if I ship them to him, he'll ship them over to me, which is real kind of him. And I'm definitely going to get, even if I don't get those ones, I'm definitely going to go for the other 6 because they've now done the 3PO and R2D2 in there.
Yeah,
I know it's not out yet, but it's a good. What is it? The Death Star Commander, Obi-Wan, 3PO, R2. Is it the Sand Person and possibly the Jawa? Yeah, Tusken Raider. So
yeah, I think Jawas. I think the 6th one. I think I've seen. Yeah,
I think that's definitely worth picking up. If you're into it, I'm never going to mind mashing retro collection in with vintage because I'm just a savage, as you well know. But
the problem is, can you tell the difference?
I mean, you can on close inspection, but from the point of view of putting them on the shelf, standing back and going, "Wow, I've got some awesome toys."
Probably not.
Who cares?
Very keen eye and keen, yeah.
I think the retro collection is that we know that some of the vintage Star Wars figures go for quite a lot. So if they're going to start doing, if they're going to release, was it 77 figures they did for the original Star Wars?
Yeah.
90. It was 96, wasn't it? I mean, but you have to include the fact that there's 2 C3POs, 3 R2D2s, and then some people will include. I think they'll include Blue Snag. That was a running change. Blue Snag.
If they're going to continue the line and bring out all the rest of those figures, it's probably an easy one just to get the retro to replace the ones that you can't really afford to buy, kind of thing.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, when you think, I missed the boat over here. I think it would have cost me £75 delivered if I was quick. But that's not to say Hasbro won't re-release them. I mean, historically they've been a bit shit with numbers and suppliers, we all know. But I mean, 75 quid, sorry, for example, for the first set, which is Farm Boy Luke, Leia, Vader, Chewie. Mine goes blank now, but yeah. In short, how can you go wrong if you haven't got a vintage selection, and you want them for nostalgia's sake? I appreciate they're not original, but there's options out there because you can go that route, or you can go Stan Solo. I mean, Stan Solo, not only do they do custom ones, I mean, you can go on Stan Solo and you can pick up a fair chunk of the last 70. The last 17, I've got 2 of the last 17 figures. I've got General Lando. I need to get a cape for him, which will be a Stan Solo one when I get one. And I've got Anakin Skywalker, and he's not one of the hard ones to get. But things like EV99, I'm not going to be paying the money people want for that. So I'm going to go the Stan Solo route, unless Hasbro release him in a retro collection, which I'm not holding my breath for, but I want to complete the 96, but if completing the 96 means I have to go for a couple of Stan Solo figures or retro collection figures, if that's what I've got to do, that's what I'll do.
Yeah.
especially budget wise. I mean, if the originals come along at a point where I can afford them and or I get them in a bargain, then absolutely I'll change them out. But for me, it's
like the one I'm hoping they do, because I know we're not going to be able to afford it. But could you imagine if they'd done like the blue snaggletooth and like the vintage?
absolutely, but there is an option for that anyway. Is it? I lose. I mean, some people. I lose track between when Smith Lord and Stan Solo became separate companies, but for all intents and purpose, you can get a blue snaggletooth reproduction.
Yeah.
So I mean, you can go and watch Toy Ploy videos where he's done reviews of it, and I think Michael on Retro Blasting possibly did a review of them. Because these guys, I mean, they tend to buy all these figures to review them.
Yeah.
And which fair play to them, which is good of them to do, because it means that us out there, we can see if they're worth it. And from everything I've seen, the Stan Solo stuff, and previously like I say, the other company I was doing, I forget. Sorry, tired, long week. That it's all good stuff. So
yeah,
certainly is worth it. Stan Solo creates vintage Star Wars figures and figures that might have been. Yeah, absolutely, it does. Because I mean, Stan Solo's done the Slave Leia, which a lot of people with the Jabba display previously have had like the Power of the Force 2 layer on there. And although it's a nice enough figure and it doesn't stand out like a sore thumb, it doesn't. It is nice to have that Kenner style Leia figure. And I was talking to Luke Reynolds last night, and I said to him, "Oh, I'm umming and ahhing if to get this or not." And Luke, being supporter as ever, sent, "Get it." So there you go. He's an enabler, which I like.
Yes.
Just unfortunately, when they take the Rancor that you offered them.
Oh no, he never took that Rancor. He wouldn't take that Rancor. I did offer it him. Oh, when did I say that online, or did he tell you about that?
No, I think it was on when we'd done. I think it was the first time we kind of met when I was on Shabby's one. You were kind of talking
right,
about
yeah.
Talking about the Rancor. It's like
I know Baz is for a Rancor.
I kept saying no, didn't he?
Yeah. He was sorry, I'm just checking. I've just had a text message come through.
Just before you carry on, Nick, one sec. Answer one of the questions in the chat earlier. As for rabbit holes, only collect what you collect. Only what you want to collect in the chat. It's basically everyone says go down rabbit holes, collecting lightning collection, Star Wars. It's only collect what you want to collect these days.
Right.
You know, it's the only one rule I'd say to people. If not, you'll end up like a Bazza collection instead of a Nick's collection behind you.
I mean, the thing is, with my collection is all in. Do you want to see my Lemmy room? I've got a Lemmy room, a room dedicated to Lemmy from that head, but there's toys in there. Do you want to see it?
Yeah, go for it.
Nick,
remember, we've been collecting for years, so we're doing so many rabbit holes. It's unreal.
So in my bedroom, I have got the Action Men shelves, which are impressive. As I've joked before, I said to the missus about introducing toys into the bedroom. I don't think she thought it was going to be Action Men on a shelf.
Nick?
Yeah.
If you go to your middle of your screen, there's a camera button.
Mm-hmm.
If you go to that, it gives you an option to flip your camera around.
Yeah.
If you go to that, you go press camera, and it gives you an option to flip your camera around to a front viewing.
Sure.
So you can look at what you're looking at. It's a bit easier to do.
Well, guys, just chat away for a second while I figure this out, because on the laptop I'm pretty straightforward, but on here,
there's a little camera button in the middle. I think the bottom of the set of 5. There's camera. If you click on that.
It's got mic, camera settings.
Yeah, just camera. And then basically go down a bit under your face. It gives you 3 or 4 options to flip. You flip face, camera, back cat. That's it.
There you go.
Is that easier?
Okay. Yeah, absolutely brilliant. So it's not an amazing collection. It's more of a junk storage room at the moment, just to give you an idea of what I'm working with here. So I've got my sort of original some
Right,
box
you're gonna
Star
make him
Wars
big.
stuff.
Make it easy for him.
Excuse a second.
There you go.
There you go.
How's that for you?
Great. So I've got speed. That's actually Mr. Reynolds, which I'm sending to him, but that needs to be sent. I've got a couple of mini rigs boxed.
Talking about Motorhead, are you going to get that new Super 7 reaction figure?
Oh, absolutely, because I'm about to show you some stuff here. So I've got my signed Motorhead picture there. I've got my signed drum skin there. I've got my vinyls and my CD set there. I've got, this is a Motorhead vinyl, which is all pop up, and this is actually this frame. Actually, it's like a picture frame, but you can pop that in. I've got my big old Lemmy picture on the dot. I've got my Lemmy belt buckle. I've got one of Lemmy's picks I caught at a gig. I've got a signed program by Filthy Phil the Animal Tailor. More Lemmy signature. I've got some Motorhead fan club magazines. This is a 70s magazine which I folded to the poster. The original Ace of Spades on vinyl, Bomber on vinyl, a scarf. All down here is my band equipment. So there's my bass guitars and my amp that I used to use when I gigged. And down here's my Action Man vehicle stored away. My Action Man spares, and a box here full of Rancors and my Star Wars figures, which are yet to be displayed and whatnot. So it's a work in progress.
You've got the Jabba's blade you was on about earlier.
Yeah. There's bits there. So I've got bits tucked away and on the way. But I managed to get these bits, and Jabba's still complete. His arms haven't fallen off; they still work.
Whoa!
So, back on Action Man, I've got the Modeller's Loft books, which are quite hard to get.
Yes,
but they're literally your friends if you collect Action Man. And there's my PA speakers, which I always say, if my neighbours want to have a loud party, I'll trump them. I've got my Slave one up there, which was a very kind gift from Dave at Toy Polloi. And yeah, so it's not the most impressive room, but it's actually my porch, but we never use because we live in the country. But this is what I call my Lemmy room.
That is amazing.
I'm going to be changing all of this out. So I'm going to move all this down, and I'm actually going to put my Star Wars collection up here.
Yeah.
And I'm going to condense these pictures up and around so I can have a couple of shelves here. So this will be the Star Wars room for all intents and purpose. So that is, as I say, it's not as exciting as some toy rooms and that, but you know,
everything starts at the beginning, and that's, you know, I like the Lemmy stuff, so that is perfect.
I mean, wrong arm because of camera. I mean, I've got Motorhead tattoos all over me. My chest is all Motorhead artwork, and you know.
Nick, am I correct that Lenny or Motorhead did the game Triple H song?
They did, yeah. So someone had done it before, but then Motorhead recorded their version of it, which was the game as you would have come to have known it. So yeah, they did. It's time to play the game, dum dum. And then so that was great. I don't want to say it too much. I don't want Baz to get done with copyright or anything. But yeah, so those are my mates. So yeah, I know it's not toy related, but that's another big passion of mine. Motorhead.
No, we wanted to because I know the Lenny figure's coming out soon by Super 7. So he's crashed to the toy line. So there you go. So while you're on the big screen, do you want to do this secret? What did you call it? Secret Santa something?
Okay, so it's Secret Sith instead of Secret Santa. And the long and short of it was, and last night, anyone who was watching USR, I do apologise for the technical issues I was having last night. I very nearly kicked my laptop across the room because of that. But in short, anyone can join in, but primarily it will be aimed towards UK YouTubers, unless there's people in the States who want to sort of run a state side of it or whatever. Anyone who wants to take place, the idea is you go on to AliExpress, the app or the website, and you type in Star Wars and you set yourself a budget of between £10 and £12, and you find a Star Wars item. In the meantime, what you will have done is you'll have emailed me. A video will go out. It will go out probably tomorrow or late Monday. And what you'll do is you'll email me your channel name, and I'll put you all in a little hat, and I'll draw you out so everyone gets a random channel assigned to them. And when you get that channel, I'll then email each person, say you are buying for so and so, and they'll get a forwarding address to send the item to. You don't tell people who you're buying for. It's all secret, like Secret Santa would be. And then what I'd like everyone to do is go and do a short little review video of what they get from AliExpress. And then in that video, if we then tag in every channel who's taken part, what we can then do is we can all promote each other. It's a bit of fun. It's a bit of randomness. And at the end of it, you might be spending 10 or 12 quid, but you're getting a 10 or 12 quid item back from someone else. And it's going to be Star Wars related, because I just thought Star Wars is nice and easy. It's the thing that all of us in the community can agree that we like.
You then you get bonus points or a bonus thing if you get the person right.
What if you can guess who sent it to you?
Yeah.
Oh, by all means, if you want to have a stab in the dark as to who sent it to you, absolutely. I mean, whether I tell you you're right or not, it's a different story. But...
It's worth a thing. There might be a mystery pie for. Can you guess the sender?
Well, it's certainly something worth thinking about. So yeah, that's not the most detailed way I've explained it, but like I say, I'm going to be dropping a little video with all the rules and everything. But that's the basic synopsis of it. The reason
go to AliExpress, find a $10-12 figure, £10-12 figure, email you to what the figure is. You send
email. So yeah, just to start again. So every channel that wants to take part, email me at actionpopdad@gmail.com. I will then put all the names in a hat. I'll draw you out, and I will assign a name to each person. So let's say, for example, Baz comes in and I draw Baz out for me, but he doesn't know that. I'll go on AliExpress. I'll type in Star Wars. I'll set my budget. The reason I've said between £10 and £12 is because with postage and VAT, £10 can make it a little bit tight in places. So if you want to go to the £12, it helps. But then I'll type in Star Wars, find something with that address. I'll ship it to Baz. He'll receive that in the post. He'll do a video saying, I've got my secret Sith thing. Tag all the other channels in, link everyone across, and we'll all just do a little review like that. And that's the whole idea of it, really. It's just so that we can all promote each other, but have a bit of fun doing it. And
what's the shipping from AliExpress on like that sort of figure? So the ballpoint of the whole.
Here's the thing. So you might think, oh well, it's only August. Why are you doing Secret Sith, Secret Santa now? Well, the thing is, AliExpress can take anywhere between 4 or 8 weeks. So the reason I'm going to be putting it out within the next week or so, the video, or probably the next day or so, is because I want to give everyone time to email me, and because I'm going to put this all on Twitter, and I'll get the other lads will retweet it, so there'll be plenty of chance to get the details. The idea is that it's August now. It says September by the time everything's arranged. September, October, November. Before you know it, you've got to order it, get it sent, get your video done, and hopefully in December, towards the end of December, we can all coordinate maybe dropping our videos around the same time, if that makes sense.
There he is, Mr. Chap.
So does that make sense? I mean,
that actually sounds quite a fun kind of thing to do anyway.
Just a quick question, Nick, again on that.
Here, because I have ordered some AliExpress.
Fire away. Sorry, what's the question?
45 weeks to come.
Yeah. What's the shipping from AliExpress to the person? Any idea?
What? How much or how long?
Yeah. How much?
So some items you can find and it will be free shipping, and that's great. Other items it'll be a couple of quid. All items will be shown without VAT on, so you've got to bear in mind that if you're looking at it.
All in all, it's cost you all in ballpoint at 15 quid per person.
Well, that's why I said 10 to 12 quid. I think everyone can do it for 10, but I've said between 10 and 12 quid. Just
with the VAT and a tiny bit of shipping, the maximum you'll pay is 15 quid if you choose that one item out of a million.
Yeah, I mean, if anyone wants to go above, that's entirely up to them. But I'm just going to keep the figure at between 10 and 12 pounds. The problem is, what I don't want anyone to do is go on there and go.
And so basically,
I'm going to spend £30 on someone, because That's great, and that's generous, and I've got no issue with that. But in a way, it kind of spoils the fun of making it affordable and
equal to everyone. Yeah,
and
so
it's also about.
Baz and say there's a Rancor monster. He's in the AliExpress. I can't send Rancor monster to Baz then.
Well, you can, but you could do it yourself. You could go, well, Baz is my friend, and I think he's great. I'm going to send that to him as well as this, and Baz can do his own separate review video. I'm not ever going to.
Yeah.
But,
I know you keep going on about that Rancor because I want to try and get my hands on one at some point, but I've been at toy fairs like twice, and I've seen one, and I've always thought it was broken, Nick. So I never picked it up because I hadn't seen a proper vintage Rancor for nearly 20 years. And like the bottom jaw, it looks like there's a bit missing. And for some reason in my head, it's like every time I seen them, I thought it was broken. That's like, nah, I'm just going to kind of walk away, and then realizing that it's no fucking broken. It's
because there's a little thing on one of his back spines, and it moves his mouth up and down.
No,
the thing like, they can't.
It's like where the bottom jaw is. It's like a V shape, and I always thought it was broken. And I never hinged, and it wasn't until like months later I was looking at one, and it's like, what a twat.
Mate, but the thing is, we all do it. The one thing that Rancors can suffer with is because their arms are basically held on with like a rubber O-ring. And if that breaks, well, Dave at Toy Polloi naturally has a fix-it video for that. So don't ever be put off if you see it. As long as you've got both his arms, there's always a way to get their arms back on. I mean, Dave said it's not quite as tight as original, but to be honest with you, the Rancor's arms, they're not. I mean, mine's getting slack with age, but his arm, they are a little. You pose them up, and you do see him slide down a bit.
Big
dangly wangler.
This is my Gremlin figure if I was a kid.
Oh, he's awesome.
He's on the camera.
His arms are now loosey-goosey.
I've got a dinosaur that's like that, Baz. It's...
but you can maybe fix it. That dinosaur you can maybe fix. This I could split it open because it has got screws in it, but I don't want to touch this.
Thing is, if you can open him up, without doing any damage to him, and you can get him back together, one approach you could do. I mean, I do it with especially with the talking blue pants action men, because you can actually unscrew the torsos. What I tend to do is I unscrew the back of I put a little O-ring, one of the real small O-rings around the arm pin, and then push them back in, and that creates just enough tension that's posable again. But I mean, for options like that, for a non-intrusive repair, I mean, I suspect Dave would probably say to you, use something like PTFE tape.
Aye, I probably would do that. This has got a lot of sentimental value to me as well.
Well, in which case, I mean, something like PTFE tape, it's not going to harm it. No. You can reverse the process, and if it makes him displayable, happy days. I mean, you can't really go wrong, and it's about 40p for a roll of PTFE tape, 40-50p.
That Stripes figure was the first item I got when I went to the boot sale with my grandfather that passed away last year. So
a lot of sentimental value.
Sentimental to me. I don't care that their arms you can't really pose them, but his legs are in good condition. They're solid. I could do them up, but I don't want to touch it just in case I accidentally break it, because
what I would say is the PTFE tape is never going to break it. It's not going to break it at all.
No, because I've used that technique on many things, thanks to Toy Polloi, and it even works on certain new figures as well if you do it properly.
Yeah, I mean, there's many options. I mean, doesn't matter how old a toy is. Your toys can go loosey-goosey in no time anyway. New toys, I mean, I don't think new toys are made anything like as well as vintage toys. I mean, I know the Star Wars toys all go a bit floppy over the years, but there's several ways of tightening their limbs up. I've got my preferred method, and it always tends to work.
It was like earlier on, we were talking about NECA, and we know sometimes with NECA toys, they're easily broken.
Yeah, don't they explode in the pack if you even look at them?
Yeah.
I got a Predator figure, and it's the samurai one. I've not got it handy because I was immediately cleaning shelves, so I've not got a lot of stuff back out. But when I got this, the legs on it were so loose it was unreal. I mean, the guy couldn't stand.
Mm.
And I know there's a couple of techniques you can get to if you get full polish, four polish. I had some of that PDF tape kicking about. I managed to pop the legs off. And all I did was just I was watching one of Dave's videos, Toy Polloy, and he just kind of put a little bit of that tape on a figure and he put it back in. And now the guy stands up. Fair enough, every so often you have to replace it, but it's easier replacing that than, or I could have went down.
Yeah, I mean, the thing is with PTFE tape, and I mean, I often do, there's a trick I use for Star Wars toys, and I literally get a needle, a very fine needle or file, and I put a bit of super glue on it, and I literally just push it into the join, and I keep rotating the limb, and the glue sets, and they tighten up. That will last for years if you don't move it about. But if you're going to start moving it about, it's not going to last very long. But because we're adults and it's display purpose, it should last a good time. But if you're like me and you had your figures out the other day and you were posing them and being a child, then you will wear it out.
The super glue one does work as well, but you constantly got to keep them and moving it so the glue doesn't fucking stick.
Yeah, I mean, you have all. If you do a limb on a Star Wars figure, 3 or 4 minutes, constant turning, keep turning. Because if you don't, you'll set that bugger in place.
All right. Because I think he's done with the Jabba that I've got that I picked up is that somebody's put super glue in it, and instead of just letting it rotate, they've just kind of left it. So I want to try and find out a way to undo
the glue.
I know you can pop the Jabba's head off for the body, and you can basically because I know Dave's got a video. I've watched that. I've seen how he can replace it or how to fix it. I just need to try and work out if there's a way I can actually release the glue. But I know when super glue does thingy, it might snap. But
I mean, I would say the chances are with the Jabba, given how weak the arm pins are on it, because the plastics actually sort of dissolve each other.
Yeah,
I would say there's every chance that the original pins will go. Yeah. That said, again, Dave's video shows you a super easy way to sort that. But with super glue, what I tend to find, I mean, I've got a vintage Bullet Man figure from Action Man.
Yeah.
And he came to me all glued together because all the elastic went. I might have restrung him now. It was a bum squeaky moment, but I just had to sit there and just slowly wiggle the joint, and then eventually you just get a bit brave and it's come apart. But
that one, it's like the elastic band goes from the feet all the way kind of round, doesn't it?
Yeah.
So on the original, the way that the muscle bodies were originally done, the head had their own sort of elastic loop coming up from a peg, like the Blue Pants figures do. They always disintegrate and fall off. But that's an easy fix. But on the muscle bodies, they almost had like rubber plungers between the limbs and in the arms, and they disintegrate over time. So the way Dave came up with was to string them around the arms and up through the neck post.
Right.
As a consequence, that pulls the arms down really tight. But then a really easy fix for that is cut a tiny piece of elastic, like Dave showed, pop it into the armpit. You can't see it, and then the arms sit naturally again. That you can buy kits where you can separate the arms and you can replace it with one. The problem is when you've got something like a Bullet Man with the original chrome on, the last thing you want to do is be splitting those arms.
Because I know how rare that actually is. Because I know Dave's done one as well. He's been looking for bits and pieces for that for years.
Yeah, and he has completed it now. My Bullet Man has got a repro helmet, which you would never know. I still always look for an original one, and on his boots he's got repro jets. And again, I still always look for the originals, but I don't. I've used 2 or 3 repro bits on mine, and he looks perfect. But I'd rather him stand there looking perfect until I find the parts, because I will in time. Everything comes to you with patience. Everything will come.
Just a quick question then, Nick. If you ever now decided to sell that figure, heaven forbid, if you ever decided, how would you describe it in the description?
I would probably say vintage Bullet Man figure, restrung, reproduction helmet and rockets on boot and chest emblem, and that's everything else is original. That's what I would say.
Yeah.
Because in the Action Man scene, one of the worst things you can do, I mean, because
we've also got all original, and basically someone gets
because the thing is, we've got the 40th line as well, and the 40th line reproduced a lot of parts.
Yeah,
I've got many figures with 40th parts on, and I do as and when I mean, I had a figure with 40th bits on him. I went to an Action Man show a while back, and I managed to find the original parts, and I changed them out.
Yes,
but that's the one rule, and it should be the one rule for all collecting.
Yeah.
The thing is, I've got a good memory, but if you haven't got a good memory and you've got a vast collection, I would say it doesn't hurt to do an Excel spreadsheet or a note. And I know it sounds nerdy, but make a note of what your repro parts are. I personally never intend to sell any of my stuff, but we never know what's around the corner.
Yeah.
But I mean, I'm lucky enough with Action Man that I honestly believe I can tell most reproduction from 40th to vintage. Because there are some differences.
Yeah.
Well, it's like looking at the retro collection and the vintage Star Wars figures. I mean, holding them back from your face here, they look very similar, but it's the feel, it's the materials it's made from.
Plus, one's got Hasbro, one's got Kenner on, one's got all the stuff, isn't it?
I mean, not all Action Man stuff has the has labels and that in it, but most of it does. But it's just being vigilant. I mean, it comes with experience and time collecting. I didn't know what was 40th and what was reproduction originally, but it's reading, it's collecting. Even going to toy fairs and getting your hands on original parts and getting to know what you're looking at. I mean, if you're really into it, I mean, from my point of view, you know that a few reproduction bits do not bother me.
To do a separate US one to keep the shipping down. I think that's him talking about your AliExpress from
I'll tell you what, in answer to that question, if there is anybody in the US who wants to get in contact with me and wants to run that side of it, more than happy. I mean, it's either that or if someone can come up with another site similar which you could use in place of.
Getting slacked with H2.
If not,
Action Man and nothing else.
Nick, do you think you could actually offer the people to say, will you ship worldwide, to give the Secret Santa the option? Ask them when they email you in, say, will you prepare to ship worldwide?
My outfit was.
Well, I think the only way we could possibly get.
Then you choose the ship, like the two pots, like you said, one UK only, and then one UK US. If you found a UK and the US person that's willing to do the same, but you don't know, I mean, only you know that.
I think one way around it, and I was thinking about this last night after the stream, and another way around it would be perhaps to find equivalent sort of sites that will ship to the US, and perhaps if you get someone from the US, you'd have to use that site as opposed to AliExpress. I mean, I'll have a bit more of a look into it tomorrow.
The community in the world, like the communities, like as you said earlier, it's one in a million for us. It's like if you don't know much about Action Man, I've almost come to you and ask, what's this item? And use it repo. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean,
if you all the community is absolutely.
I'm never gonna sit here and say I'm an Action Man expert because I don't profess to be. And to be honest with you, Vintage Toy Rush, VTR Dave, he's got bloody good knowledge on Action Man. But if there's ever anything you want to know, reach out, give me a shout, because if I don't know, I'll never stand there and make it up.
At least you know then somebody that will know.
Well, yeah, I mean, even down to in the Action Man community, it's really not hard to reach out to the likes of Bob Breakin. He's very accessible. I've chatted to him a few times and I've met him at shows. You can message him if you have a question. He's not you know, you're not dealing with a celebrity, you're dealing with someone who worked on the line. And the thing is, there's loads of people in the community who are very knowledgeable. The thing is, I would say, if I don't know, it's only 2 or 3 messages and I'll get the answer.
Yes. It's what the community is for, isn't it? The toy community. Always
Absolutely.
help each other.
No question's a stupid question, because if you don't know, you don't know. I can remember standing at the first AmCon show I was at in Colville, Leicester, literally calling across a bloke called Alan Dawson saying, Alan, are these the trousers that belong to the, was it the policeman, or was it it was a figure. I was like, Alan, because they're very similar. And he's like, no, that's so-and-so. And there was another guy there called Daniel Preston, and he was like, oh, that's what I like to see, someone who actually will ask. So that's the thing, just ask. We can't all know everything about everything.
No.
I mean, I still go, I'm collecting the vintage Star Wars figures now, but I don't know all the weapons that go with them. I don't know all the release years. I don't know all the eras. I mean, I still have to go and look on websites online. And when it comes to weapons, I normally look on the Imperial Gunnery to see what figure should have what. And although I'm not worried about repro weapons, I mean, I've got quite a few weapons, and from that came with the lot I bought. And to be honest with you, from what I can surmise and what I've seen from checking things out, I've actually got a reasonable amount of vintage weapons that came in with like the job lot I bought. But I equally like, if that's the case, I equally like to keep them separate from the repro ones, because to be honest with you, I'd rather, if they're holding, not that I don't do it for any value, but I've got a couple of weapons that I've got the vintage ones for, like my Bespin Luke, I've got the vintage weapons for, and my Farm Boy Luke, I've got the vintage lightsaber for, but I've actually changed them out for reproduction ones because they're fragile and they're small. And I imagine how heartbroken you'd be if, like, especially if my little boy comes along and goes, "Oh, Dad," snap. Oh. And it doesn't always pay to think like that, but
no,
from that point of view, I'd rather just chuck them in a Tupperware box in my cupboard and keep them safe. Because although I don't see why they should be as valuable as they are, they hold a value, and I'd rather not lose them or suck them up a hoover.
So it looks like Shabby is offering to be a dance teacher now.
Anytime, Shabs.
Absolutely.
Anybody in the community wants to dance, otherwise I'm your man.
Guys, I'm going to say thank you very much for having me on this evening.
That's not what I mean.
This was meant to be a quick pop on. I'm going
This
to.
This is the cat, mate. This is in the cat. I've seen the Motorhead amazing collection behind you in that secret room of yours. I've seen the missus. I've seen the Airfix kits. No, Nick, thank you so much for coming on, and
anytime. And
as I said last week, Nick, man, anytime you want to pop on, just let me know and we'll get you on, man.
If not, reach out to Baz. I'm going on holiday in a couple of weeks. You can be Baz's master into the paddy one. I'll call you the master. Cool.
Hey Baz, if you want me to be wingman that week, just send me the date and I'll make sure I'm there, mate. It's not
no worries, man.
But
Thank you, Nick. Stay safe.
I'm going to shoot on and spend some time with the missus, but good to see you all.
No worries, man. Catch you later, Nick.
Bye, guys. Bye.
What was that? Shabby Geekus.
So bad. So you have 10 minutes left. Your best and worst pickup today from your car boot or your charity shop find from earlier. And then basically your worst, your best, and the one you never think you'd find.
What, from today?
Yeah.
Well, I would say E-Man would be the best for 20p, can't grumble.
Is that a hard one, Baz?
What was the three options? Best, worst?
Best, worst pickup, and thing you never expected to find. And you can't choose the same figure.
Oh, the worst one's going to be a. I'd probably say, like, for worst, I'd probably say that because I don't think these are going to be. I don't know what these are going to be like. This was kind of a gamble.
The packaging might be better than the figures.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. I wouldn't say the worst, but you know what I mean? If you put it into worst to best.
I would say the thing.
They
See,
weren't expecting.
This is kind of a weird, a tough one because it's like something
I know
that
you
you
weren't
wouldn't
expecting the
expect.
He-Man, but you chose that as your best.
I mean, the He-Man, that would go over kind of two, but you've got to have one or the other. But I would pick He-Man for the best one because it's weird to see these in charity shops, Dave.
Yeah, yeah.
Especially something that's only been out a couple of years. The thing that you wouldn't normally see in a shop, I'd probably go with that Stranger Thing.
Yeah.
There's no thing that you would randomly come across in a shop.
No.
I've seen these getting sold online. I've only ever seen these being sold online, so I'd probably say best what you wouldn't normally find, and then that Funko thing.
Just to answer your question, Baz, worst will probably be that one only because of the legs.
But you might be able to fix the legs though, depending.
There's no screws in it, Baz. There's no screws. I checked it. There's no screws.
So I don't know if you'd be able to maybe use that tape that Nick's been talking about and putting in just to tighten them up a bit. But then again, you don't know if it had a gimmick and the legs have moved. Maybe the
I'll follow you. So that's the worst, only because of the legs. The best find, because I never expected it. Well, the best find is that one, the Ninja, because just brings so much childhood memories back. And I never expected would be the.
Oh, definitely. The kind of answer Shabby and G-Forces is like, this is kind of both best find and thing that you would normally wouldn't find. But that's the thing, is that I've never seen these in shop shit. I mean, you see plenty of the normal He-Man, Skeletor, and some of the other characters, but for him, I've never seen these in shop shit.
Yeah.
And to get it for 20p, and I'll kind of just, even though you never come on waiting, but I'll kind of use this one from the new until I can try and acquire bits. But
and then basically, Baz, to throw one more curveball in, Baz, the one that's going to be more famous for me out of all them three will be the jacket.
There's only thing is that hopefully you've got the legs to go with the jacket.
I might email Chantal, don't mention me to listen to it, but there you go. But there you go, the jacket. I'll be more famous for that, but yes, the best find would be the Ninja. Worst because only the legs is the wrap, and then the unexpected was the Cardiac Raiders.
Oh, that's the thing, is that you wouldn't come across. You might come across some loose, but not carded kind of thing.
Yeah. There's mine, a bit of fun and games for you there. There you go. But no, thanks again, Baz, for an amazing night. It's been different, wild, crazy.
No, these are getting. I kind of look forward to doing the live streams now. It's like before you were always nervous, kind of leading up to them, but now they're kind of grown on me. I'm kind of get a bit more confidence at doing them. As you kind of seen last week, I kind of did start it off as my own, and then we did have Nick joining for a little bit, and then we had they gone as well coming on, and it was nice meeting they gone as well. Yeah. Like I always say, it's always nice meeting new collectors in the community, because I mean we all, as we always say, we all collect
together. Yeah, I know for a fact very soon we're going to have a friend of both our channels. I know Lobot's going to come on our channel. I want to give a shout out to Altendo for his birthday. If he ever watches it, I didn't see him in the chat.
No,
Happy
I was
birthday to Altendo.
looking for him in the chat, but never seen him.
No, but you know, as for me, Baz, coming up, I've got odds and sods videos for the next 2 to 3 weeks, and then I start my adventure. There will be, especially on a Saturday nights, possibly a couple of live streams from collector shows, toy museums. I'm going to may do live streams. You know, but yeah, it's going to be a wild ride. I would say I have a big announcement in a couple of weeks, but it's pointless, isn't it, Baz?
Oh, it's like Shabby says, nothing to be nervous about, Baz. You're one of the boys. But when I started doing these, it was like I always started just kind of doing the car boot sale ones and footwear that I knew in Facebook groups and this and that. It's like, oh, you should do a live. You'd probably be good at it. I just never had the courage to actually do it until one night I was like, you know what? I'll not know until I do it. Like with my Harley Quinn custom. Yeah. I wouldn't know if I could do it until I did it.
Yeah.
So now Rory, good friend Rory, is now kind of, I think he's created a monster because I just want to customize everything now. Because I want to do another few Stormtrooper like crossovers. So I do have a couple of spare of is it the Death Troopers?
Yeah.
And I really want. I do have a couple of Catwoman heads. And I really want to do a Catwoman like kind of Stormtrooper thing, and I want to do a Poison Ivy as well.
Yeah.
Because Rory kind of gave me the idea, so why not try and do like we're trying to think of a name for our battalion. So it's like we're trying to brainstorm each other. We kind of come up with the Birds of Prey.
No, Baz of Babes.
Eh?
The Baz of Babes.
And then like, if you're ever going to do a Joker one, you should do it. Get a Darth Vader. Use the Darth Vader body. Kind of thing. But I don't know if I do have a couple of spare Joker heads from the animated series, but I don't know if I would need to check to see if the helmet would actually fit on top of the Joker.
Yeah.
But I would need to try and find a cheap Vader because I don't want to use the one I've got. So we need to try and work out how to do it because he's got patched cloth. I don't know how easy it would be to film and take that off to replace it again.
Possible. For now.
The big and nice it is, we're going to get. But we're just about hitting our 2 hours anyway, so I thanks again for everybody that's popped into the chat. It's always nice for you guys to come in.
Yeah.
As we're saying, we need to try and get Shabby and Sion together at some point.
I say once again, Shabby might have a special live stream on his channel this Wednesday to create his 200 video. So congratulations, Shab, for 200 video, mate. You know, unbelievable.
And I don't know if 3 Men and a Monkey is on tonight, but if they are, jump onto their channel next.
What, Mr. Lizard?
Yeah. I don't know if it's on tonight because I know Salacious was on holiday. I can't remember when he was coming back because I know there's no Lego one this week unless one of the other guys is going to jump on to do the Lego one. But if the Three Men and a Monkey Liz is on, jump onto their channel.
So, well, we would say go and support all the channels, keep them going, give them a like. Don't forget to give Baz a like, a thumbs up on the video. You know, help the community out as much as we can.
See, I would have Shabby on any time because Shabby's kind of the guy that kind of got me into doing the live streams and got me back into the YouTubing and all that.
You know what we should do? Get Shabby on and the real Shabby on.
Who's the real Shabby?
Now that's the question for the channel.
But everybody always just thanks for supporting me and Dave doing all these over the last few months, because I think this is like our 27th or 28th live stream. It's
year, isn't it?
Yeah, this has kind of been a constant weekly event, but touch wood that no medical issues like last year.
Talking about medical issues, you got the heart monitor before you come on, like blood pressure before you do. You think, yeah, thanks, Baz.
Shabby and the Poundland Shabby.
I was thinking about Shabba Ranks, but you know, if he wants to dance, I'll get the music for him. So,
but as you say, we'll just finish this up now. And thanks everybody again for popping out of the chat and saying hi and all that. Until the next one, everybody, please
dance on the way out, don't you, Baz?
Oh.
Go on, Baz. Do the dance. Everybody dance.
Do the shabby dance.
Do the shabby dance. Do the shabby dance.
Bye for now. Catch you all later.
Prosper.